How do Asian people decide what the English version of their name is? Just names they like or ones that sound kinda similar. If you don't think about it too hard, my parents gave me both an English and a Chinese name. They have nothing to do with each other and sound nothing alike. On the other hand, my cousin got to pick his English name and just chose one that sounds vaguely similar to his actual name. If you're a guy and you're from Hong Kong, you're allowed to pick whatever you want as long as it's Wilson or Winston. They just pick it, often while taking English classes. My girlfriend is Korean, changing it slightly for anonymity. But for example, her Korean name translates to mean something like sparkling jewel, so she picked Sparkle for her English name. Not completely conventional, but it works. Someone or characters popular in cinema at the time of their picking English name. I know a bunch of Asian dudes pick Jacob from Twilight or Troy from High School Musical. A lot of Asian girls pick Jessica Alba, Taylor Swift, Emily Blunt or Vanessa Ann Hudgens, etc. My family is Catholic, so some people go by their Catholic names. Like my cousin uses his native illegal name interchangeably with Michael, the name he was baptized with, even though they are completely different. Most people I know go by our native illegal names though. I'm really proud of my name and its roots. I would never choose a Western name for myself just to make it easier on other people. I have worked in China a lot, and I can't tell you how many lilies daisies I've met. My Chinese neighbor told me he chose the name Kevin because he likes Kevin Smith movies. A friend of mine chose Adam because it was the first man. He was Christian but didn't want to be named Christian. Lol. Flip the Bible to a random page. I knew a guy called Soon who chose Max after Gladiator. Usually just pick something. When I lived in Vancouver, my landlord was Chinese in origin. Her name was Snowy. There was a Korean girl who moved into the place student housing and her name was Barry. They both just picked the name because they liked it. As an Asian person, we just pick one. It literally has nothing to do with our Asian name. My uncle named himself after an NBA star. Lol. In college I had a wonderful volunteer job teaching English to new immigrants. I helped one family from China who sat down with a baby name book to pick names they liked. I came to their house for their English lesson and they were laughing and laughing. They said, "Did you know in this country you can name yourself Rich?" The dad went for it. They were so fun. They say fuck it, I'm Tony now because it's too hard to pronounce in English. One friend told me that her English teacher gave names to everybody in the class. Don't know if that's a rule though. My grandpa met a white woman in the 60s who couldn't pronounce his name when he introduced himself, so she decided he was Jim on the spot. Lol. I do not believe this occurs with frequency these days. I have a couple friends who grew up in Hong Kong, and this is what they told me. When they are in grade school they are asked to choose their English Christian or first name. Some talk it over with their parents, some don't. One friend was told by his teacher to pick an English first name that was simple for him to remember and for him and others to pronounce. So the name he chose? Simple. True story. In the Philippines, a lot of us have conventional American names: Robert, John, Dorothy, Brian, Caroline, etc. In some cases, some of us have Spanish names: Maria, Jose, Pedro, Roberto, etc. Sometimes they pick what they think sounds cool. Guy I knew went by Milo. He said it was like Carmelo Anthony. I said it sounded like Marshmallow. People call him Marshmallow now. Same way you would get a Chinese name. Your English teacher would give you some choices based on the sounds of your name. Sometimes the parents choose it. Sometimes they choose it themselves, and sometimes they change it if for whatever reason they don't like it. Back when I was a teenager, I worked with a lot of Korean and Filipino immigrants. As each one arrived, the ones before would support them with spare rooms while getting a rental and learning English and stuff. They also helped each other pick English names. Most of them were named after flowers or named after characters from books, movie, video games. They pick one they like, and that was popular over 100 years ago. They pick a name they like. My mom's Vietnamese name translates to girl. She was very quick to change her name when she immigrated to America. She simply liked how Anna sounded.